You're watching the SCAC Player of the Week interviews. It's week 8 of the SCAC softball season, and today we're joined by the SCAC Pitcher of the Week, Senior Kat Patterson of the Trinity University Tigers. And Kat, congratulations, and thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Russell. I'm really happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Kat, you and the rest of your Tiger teammates have exploded in the month of March, the March of the Tigers. Trinity going 11-4 over the course of this past month, including a 6-3 mark in SCAC play these past 15 games. This team has really found its stride. Kat, what's been the biggest difference as the calendar flipped to March and this team sort of started to gain some momentum? How much confidence does this group have as we head into the month of April and down the stretch of the SCAC season?
Yeah, there's something about that March Madness type of energy. We had a pretty rough start to the season, but moving into March, it was really that turning point with the games against UMHB. I was actually out with the flu at the time, but just being able to watch my team finally start to piece things together and then make that turning point going into the rest of the season. And then it just felt like we had all defense, offense, and pitching all at one time.
In the circle this past weekend, Kat, you were outstanding, a huge part of their Tigers' 2-1 series win over Schreiner, a critical SCAC series victory. In the 3 games, you combined to go 18.2 innings worth of work for a 1.88 ERA, 4 strikeouts, and of course it was highlighted by the 1-hit complete game shutout in your win over the weekend. Just your thoughts on where your game is at right now, and how much confidence do you take away from an individual performance like you're looking on this past weekend?
Yeah, so I think that was certainly the most innings pitched I've ever had in one weekend in 3 games, which coming out of that feels really good to know that I can push through all 18.2 innings and get even stronger going into the rest of the season. I know my coach has communicated with me a lot that I'm going to be taking on a lot of innings. So building up that stamina has been good, especially with weekends like that, where I really have to push through and dig deep when I'm gassed, when it's hot. And when, we're down in that 6th and 7th inning stretch where we really need to fight back. So it was a good weekend, and I'm feeling pretty confident with the rest of my teammates going into Dallas this weekend.
Talk about that workload, Kat. Now far away leading the SCAC in terms of innings pitched, over 100 innings on the season, nearly 30 more innings to the next closest in the SCAC. How do you embrace that challenge of the workload that's been asked of you there at Trinity? How much do you enjoy kind of having your fingerprints so much involved at every single contest for the Tigers now?
I love it. It's fun for me. Some people would probably get pretty tired, but I tell my team every day that I come out, I'm going to work hard no matter how I perform. I'm going to work hard for them, and I expect the same in return. So it's kind of just that respect for each other, mutuality that I tell my coaches and my team, I'm going to show up no matter what it takes. And it's really it's fun for me. It's not anything that I dread going into the weekends. It's something I get to look forward to see how I can push myself and push the boundaries with how I'm performing and how many innings I'm taking on.
For you in your senior season, Kat, what's this year been like for you? How have you kind of attacked it? Obviously, been kind of an interesting path over the course of your career there at Trinity, a coaching change, obviously, everything that we had to go through in terms of dealing with the pandemic and getting through that. Now finally kind of being able to maybe be back to a little bit of normalcy, being back to something that's just consistent and you can count on in this senior year. How much have you enjoyed that, and how much have you kind of embraced being one of the senior leaders within this group?
Yeah, so coming into the season, being elected one of 3 senior captains was really exciting, just knowing that we had that consistency and that leadership on our team. And then we've faced pretty much every adversity possible, Russell. We've had coaching changes, like you said, we faced the pandemic, and we've had girls get out with COVID even this year. So it's been something that you just have to roll with the punches, and you really have to just adapt. And I think coming into this season, we were fully prepared to just keep adapting, and we haven't faced that much adversity this year. So it's almost like coming full circle, where freshman year, everything was completely normal. You had that consistency that you were talking about, and then you face all this adversity, and then coming back into senior year, it's a little bit more normal, and it's something that you can rely on day to day. It's just coming out to the field, being able to play. And it's something I don't take for granted anymore. Just having had it taken away quite a bit and then having some really monumental changes. It's something that we've been having a lot of fun with, just being able to come out like normal, play like normal, and just enjoy the game as we have before.
Finally, Kat, to wrap things up, a huge road series coming up this weekend for you and your Tiger teammates, headed out to Irving, Texas to take on University of Dallas. As I mentioned, 6-3 in SCAC play right now, sitting third in the SCAC standings. A huge opportunity for this group coming up this weekend. What are your expectations going into the weekend? What will be key for this team to continue to build on the momentum that you've been able to accrue over the month of March?
We're looking to sweep this weekend. We've had some really intentional practices this week, led by Coach Witt and Coach Martin's authority. So they've been doing a lot of their due diligence at home, just doing their homework on what we're going to be facing this week and making sure that we're preparing in the right ways that we need to be. So I'm really excited going into the weekend. I know that my team has been preparing just for the specific things that they need to work on for this weekend, and I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be great. It'll be nice to get on the road again too.
West Columbia, Texas native, and this week's SCAC softball pitcher of the week, senior Kat Patterson, Trinity University Tigers. Kat, again, congratulations on your honor and best of luck as you continue March 4th for your senior season.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Russell.